Hello, I'm Howard. I've worked in UK railway engineering for nearly 20 years in everything from maintenance, renewals, and fault response to project work, design work, and management. I wanted to talk today about UFOs or UAPs as they're now called. I've seen on the internet they used to be called unidentified flying objects, UFOs, and now I believe, according to NASA of all people and various other sources, it's now UAP, unidentified anomalous phenomena. You might be wondering what could UFOs and UAPs possibly have to do with the railway. You'll see this is quite a good story. Any British viewers of this video may recognise the story. It did the rounds here for a while, but apparently most of the people who watch the videos that I produce are American. I think 68% from the USA, so they might not have seen this. So let's have a look. The aliens have arrived. A fairly dramatic headline from the Daily Record, which is a Scottish publication. So this newspaper is from Scotland, published in March 2022. The aliens have arrived. Mysterious blue light moving through the sky freaks out Scots. Locals in Markinch, Fife, were scratching their head last at the sight, with many concluding that the aliens had arrived on Earth, which isn't too difficult to believe why they thought that when you see the picture associated with the story. It does look like something straight out of Independence Day. At the bottom of that should be probably the White House being destroyed in a ball of flame, as often happens in movies, as a beam shoots from the sky. A local Scottish phenomenon, you might think, but here is a news article from Bristol, which is about as far as you get away from Scotland. There's not much of the country left going south below that. And it says here an eerie blue UFO light spotted by more residents above Bristol, implying that there's already been quite a lot of sightings. Footage shows the mysterious blue light moving silently across the night sky. And here is some footage from Bristol. Here we see a portion saying people living in Bristol have begun reporting strange blue lights in the sky over the city, back in May and more recently this week, and have been inundating Bristol Live, which is the news organisation, with pictures and videos and conspiracy theories about what on earth it could be. Under certain conditions, thin, relatively low cloud, the light bounces back off the clouds and looks like there's something bright blue in the cloud itself. Still more reports from Bristol. It was really weird and eerie. There was not a single noise coming from it, and it was quite low down in the sky. I stood and watched for a while, and I could see that it was flying, but it was extremely quiet. This isn't the first time the mysterious blue light has been seen in Bristol. In May earlier this year, a man and his wife spotted the blue light while driving from Fish Ponds out to the A4174 Avon Ring in French Way. You might say that it's an aeroplane, and maybe it is true, but it was strange because I wasn't able to hear any engine noise, he said. I was with my wife going from Fish Ponds to the Ring Road, and my wife saw it first. It was cloudy, and I said, "That's an aeroplane," after I stopped the car, turned off the lights and the engine, and opened the window, and it was really strange. It was quiet at that hour, and there were no cars and no one on the road. As you can see in the picture, it wasn't flying too high, but it wasn't making any noise. The couple watched the light for around 2 minutes, with the man recording a video on his phone and his wife taking pictures. Now, this is opposite ends of the country, Scotland and Bristol, opposite ends of Great Britain. And this tells us that the lights were seen everywhere in the country, just about, at one point or another, with everybody confused as to their origin. You can see another story here from Teesside. The tunnel of blue light could be seen for miles around Teesside, but many have thought they were fireworks or even a UFO. And you can see that column of strange light apparently coming from the sky. Another image here from Berkshire, um, where you see it near a street lamp in the sky, moving silently through the night. And this news story was doing the rounds and confusing people en masse for quite a while until it was revealed that the source of the UFO and all this confusion was this. As it turns out, it's not a UFO following a train around trying to beam it up. It is, in fact, what's known in the UK as the flying banana, Network Rail's new measurement train, which is, according to Network Rail, the most technically advanced train of its type in the world. This is thanks to its range of sensory technology with both mechanical devices and optical instruments on board. So it has laser sensors on it that give information about the profile of the railhead. It measures the shape of the railhead. It has transducers and accelerometers that mechanically measure up and down movement and check the track condition of the railway for any voiding, which it can do effectively because it tests it dynamically because it's doing exactly the same as it would if a train went over it because the measuring device is a train. So this provides information on track geometry. It uses a series of lasers and cameras underneath it to detect faulty track components automatically. And as for the eerie blue light or the UFO generator or the death ray, what that actually is part of a measurement system that monitors the amount of wear on the overhead lines created by train pantographs sliding along the underside of the contact wire. So the trains that make contact with the overhead lines, they do it via what's called a pantograph on the top of the train. And as that passes along the wire, obviously there's a lot of friction when trains are going 125 mile an hour on the high speed lines. Sometimes that friction between the two eventually degrades the wire and abrades it, and the blue light's main function is to measure that degradation, which then prevents dewirements caused by the overhead line breaking. So what can happen is the wire can wear too thin, and if it wears too thin, it snaps, and then the overhead lines come down and cause massive disruption. But this train should be able to pick that up and get teams out to it in time before that can happen. And there we are, the mystery of the UFO explained for now. Have a good evening.